Hello and welcome to the Corner Flag. This is an audio-only episode. My name is Amogh.
And I'm Aakarsh.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't worry. There's nothing wrong with your computer. This is an audio-only episode. And that is because what you guys don't understand is video production को पैसा लगता है और podcasting और audio recording गरीबों का medium है.
Also, very importantly, we're both ugly. We have to realize no one really wants to look at us, and maybe our... Actually, now that I say that, even our voices aren't that good. I don't know why we're doing this. We should just shut up.
I think we should just go with the angle of paisa nahi hai and just move on with the episode because it is a nice episode that we've got lined up. We're actually going to talk about everything that happened in round one of the group fixtures at the 2018.
And a lot happened. A lot of unexpected results, a lot of surprise results, a lot to talk about.
Lots. Let's start off with the opening day blockbuster. I mean, not the opening day, the second day blockbuster. Spain versus Portugal.
That was a fun game for the neutrals to watch.
Fun game. Three very, very good goals by Ronaldo. One of them, a horrible mistake by De Gea. I'm sorry, David. You're still the best in my eyes. But rather than the goals, I actually want to talk about what happened after Ronaldo's third goal, the equalizing goal.
That celebration, that very weird celebration.
Yes.
What's that rule that everyone's talking about? Did you know about that?
I did not actually. And for those of you who are listening, who live under a rock and don't know what actually happened, let me tell you, after Ronaldo's third goal, the entire Portugal team went off the pitch and celebrated. And as the last player from Portugal was about to join them, Jose Font, it was the central defender, the cameras caught Ricardo Quaresma telling him very, very categorically to stay on the pitch and not join the team in the celebrations. And Font agreed. He just stayed on the pitch. Now, this video went viral on social media and everybody was talking about how that was because of a FIFA rule that states that if all outfield players, not counting the keeper, are off the pitch, the opposing team has the opportunity to do a quick kickoff and potentially have a 10-on-1 situation with the keeper.
Doesn't that sound like a really weird rule? Because why would that be allowed? Why does the keeper not count if he's...
Exactly.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and one would think that it's the opposite of the rule that would count, where if all outfield players are off the pitch,
exactly,
you can't start the game. Please have some compassion. Don't do it. But apparently that was the reason. And we thought this was bullshit. So we did a little bit of research. And funny enough, The Independent has actually put out an article that states the truth behind this celebration. And they said this FIFA rule does not exist. This rule that people have just thought of is bullshit, right? Because there's only one parameter that the teams need for a kickoff. And it's that the opposing team, all players of the opposing team need to be in their own half. Not even a single player can be in the opposition's half.
In their own half?
Yeah, all 11 players of the team have to be in their own half for kickoff to take place. And that got us thinking. That means the Portuguese team don't really like Jose Font. Like they really...
That's the only explanation?
They really hate him. I think he has body odor. I think so.
That could make sense.
इतना बदबू आता है कि सब लोग नहीं तू नहीं आएगा, तू उधर ही रहे, तू उधर ही अच्छा है. Rui Patricio at the goal is just like, now you know what I feel like, bastard. All
because
goals.
That's exactly what he was doing. He was just standing there, clapping by himself.
Yeah,
a little bit of a fist bump.
I think they must have said कि देख ये रोनाल्डो है. He's won the Champions League 3 times. ठीक है? तू साउथहैम्पटन के लिए खेलता है, तू चुप बैठ, तू उधर ही रहे, तेरी वही औकात है. But that was Spain versus Portugal. What other matches happened?
What else? France played not a great win against Australia.
Not a great win at all. But I was happy that Griezmann scored because I really like the guy, and I was happy that Pogba scored because I really like the guy. Although penalty and very weird lob, almost mistake goal. Scrappy win, but that's been the story of all the so-called big teams in the World Cup this year, right?
At least some teams managed a scrappy win. One of the big teams that didn't even get the 3 points was Argentina against Iceland.
Yes, what a bad penalty miss by Messi. I mean,
terrible penalty.
Lionel Messi. Sorry for that.
Very bad. Very bad. We'll have to edit that out. I think it's not good for you.
It's not good for anybody. But I mean, yeah, Ronaldo fans are having a blast saying that the greatest in the world apparently couldn't even score against a part-time film director from Iceland. And that's great. And you know what? I don't really care too much about Argentina. I don't think anybody who was watching that match was supporting Argentina only because they were playing Iceland. I mean, since the Euros, Iceland have become such a neutral's favorite. Like there's so much goodwill with Iceland. Like everybody just wants Iceland to do well just so that they can do the Viking clap, right?
That's gotten really, really popular.
Yeah, right. And the film director, goalkeeper that we were talking about, he actually directed an ad for Coca-Cola. You guys should check it out. Great ad that incorporates the Viking clap very interestingly in the ad itself. And it's great, man. The Viking clap that Iceland do, it's so cool. It really is so much. There's so much passion in there, right? And what's really a little funny is that I went for the India versus Kenya game at the Mumbai Football Arena for the Intercontinental Cup, and we filled the stadium up because Sunil Chhetri had to put out that video, just proving that comedian हो या footballer, show pimp करना पड़ता है, ticket बेचने के लिए थोड़ा Twitter करना पड़ता है. So we were there and the stands were like full, right? It was a great atmosphere, and the India team supporters, the official supporters, are called the Blue Pilgrims, right? Fantastic support. They fill up the stand and they go crazy singing, right? Mad props to them. But we were also doing the Viking clap in the stadium, to the point where even the team came to the Blue Pilgrims in the corner and did the Viking clap exactly how Iceland did it. And that was kind of weird because we also did it when Sandesh Jingan was lying injured, which is the very weird time to do a Viking clap, you know. It's a little weird.
But at least the teammates didn't go and join in on that Viking clap.
That would have
been worse.
That would have been worse, right? And I was actually talking to the people from the Manchester United supporters group, Mumbai, and we were having this discussion because a lot of them were at the game as well. And they said something interesting, man. They said that, you know, we get that it's not technically ours, that this is something that is culturally and geographically associated with Iceland. But man, it just feels good and it just gets everybody together. There's a sense of unity in the stadium for a football game that we haven't as a country really witnessed.
And I think that's what matters, the atmosphere in the stadium. If
Exactly.
you can have a good atmosphere, it doesn't really matter where you're getting
Exactly.
or whose clap you're taking. As far as you can create a good atmosphere in the stadium, that's what matters.
Exactly.
And even when we'd gone for the ISL games, there was a lot of singing, there was a lot of chanting.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
Absolutely. And I think if you're a fan of football and you're based in Bombay or any of the big cities where football matches regularly take place for the national team or ISL, please go and watch, man. Fill the stadiums up. The football might not be at the level that we're used to seeing on television with Europe and you know all the European leagues. But it's a lot of fun to watch a live game, man.
That magic of being in a stadium, being with
mad.
thousands of people who are feeling what you're feeling,
It's
who
mad.
go through the same emotional graph.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and
It's a
you
lot of
can't
fun.
really recreate that in
No, you can't.
your house.
You can't. And, you know, just going back to the Viking clap, I'm glad that we did the Viking clap because it's a good chant. It's a good thing to do in the crowd. I would rather have that over some idiot going, Sachin, Sachin. I was like, yaar, mat kar yaar. Ye Wankhede nahi hai. But that was Argentina, Iceland.
So, and another statistic, I don't know if you heard this, but in Iceland, 99.6% of the people that were watching TV were watching the game. 99.6% of the Icelandic population was watching the game against Argentina.
Wow.
What was that 0.4% doing? What else could you be doing?
I think they were procreating for the next generation of footballers and film directors and dentists who will also be footballers.
So porn,
essentially.
So 99.6% were watching football and the 0.4% was watching porn.
Also, 99.6% of the country is watching the sport, right? Ekta Kapoor must have seen those ratings and lost her shit. Like, मैं K-serial क्यों बना रही हूँ? I should go to a small fucking country and have them win at a sport and then televise that sport. That is the formula.
So let's go from Messi's Argentina to Neymar's Brazil,
Yes.
another team that couldn't manage a win.
Yeah, it was really sad to see them draw the game 1-1 because they started off so well. And it's always a pleasure to see Brazil perform. That style of football, joga bonito, it's fantastic.
And they were having a lot of fun with a lot of fancy flicks and
yeah.
back heels.
Yeah.
And they were really enjoying their football.
Typical Brazil. And an atypical Brazil goal, unless you're talking about Roberto Carlos, was Philippe Coutinho. What a strike!
What a goal.
Goal of the World Cup thus far?
I'd have to say so.
I mean, there's Ronaldo's free kick, there's Kolarov's free kick.
But this one was really good.
This one was special.
No
right?
keeper in the world was saving that. Keeper had no chance.
No chance. And just spare a thought for a Liverpool fan right now. They're seeing their erstwhile star player who's moved on, gone to Barcelona, is now on the world stage, at the biggest stage for football, and he pulls off this cracker while Coutinho Beta, Roberto Firmino, who's still at Liverpool, is on the bench.
But they used to seeing their best players go off to bigger teams and do bigger things like Suarez in Barcelona. I don't think you should feel bad for Liverpool.
Not at all.
Also, they're Liverpool fans. Why would you feel bad for a Liverpool fan?
That's true. You know what? I love doing the show with you, Aakarsh, only because you're an Everton fan and I'm a United fan, and we both have a mutual hatred for Liverpool. It's great. That's chemistry. But talking about Firmino, I don't know if you've noticed this, Aakarsh, but Firmino का दांत बहुत सफेद है. बहुत. मतलब you can't look at anything else when Firmino's on the pitch. Like, I think his diet is Happy Dent. That's all he eats. And maybe that's a tactic that Brazil and Liverpool use. Like, we'll put him on and he'll smile and he'll blind everyone. Like, that's essentially like to the point where अगर floodlight खराब हो गया तो Firmino को ऊपर चढ़ा सकते हैं and he can be the floodlight and the game will go on.
Okay, enough talking about Liverpool players. Let's go to Group F, another of the World Cup's favorites, Germany.
Yes.
And at least Brazil and Argentina managed a point. Germany lost 1-0 to Mexico.
Yeah, man. And I'm actually a little happy about that. I'm not a big fan of Germany. And I don't know why, because they have good players, right?
They have a good team.
Yeah,
and they play good football.
They play good football. And I like a bunch of their individual players. I like Boateng, I like Hummels, I like Royce. Hate Müller, because he's a fucking cheat. But apart from that, they're a good team. But somehow I just do not, I can't get behind Germany. I think maybe it's the success syndrome. They've won it so many times. They're so lethal that I don't want to support them. Like Germany is one team I hate. The other team is Spain. And that's primarily because of Diego Costa. Fuck that guy.
The only reason I wouldn't want Germany to win the World Cup is because I want to see another team win it.
Right.
Germany won in 2014. Let's see which other team can stand up to the occasion.
Right. By the way, just thought of this. Speaking about Mexico, fantastic victory, right? And you know the deal behind Mexico captain Rafael Marquez, right?
No.
So Marquez is making his 6th World Cup appearance. 6th.
Wow.
That's a record. Like, I've seen Marquez play every World Cup that I've watched, almost. I think barring 98, which was my first World Cup, I think he's featured in every Mexican side. Fantastic defender. Except this year, he's in a bit of a pickle. Because he was recently, a part of a lawsuit that kind of alleged his links to a drug cartel in Mexico.
Wow.
Yes. So he was not allowed to play for Mexico for the longest time, but then his lawyers kind of got on the case and they got him the sanction to go to the World Cup and continue playing for Mexico again. Except he's blacklisted by the USA. And that means he does not wear his team's official sponsored jersey. He does not drink the same branded water/sports drink as the rest of the team drinks.
So his jersey doesn't have...
No, so when they're training,
right,
he can't wear the jersey with the sponsor.
Oh.
Shirt manufacturer's fine. He can't wear the jersey with the sponsor.
Oh.
Right. And he can't drink the branded water as the rest of the team drinks. People from the broadcasting agencies cannot do a post-match interview with him because he'll be in front of a board that has all the sponsors.
Oh, wow.
Most of whom are American companies like Coca-Cola and McDonald's. And that cannot happen. Plus, even getting him to Russia was a big deal because he could not be on a flight that is routed through the United States of America. So he had to fly separately. It's interesting. It's mad.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so what's happening with the case? Has he been proven innocent, or is the case still on?
I think it's still sub judice, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure. But that's Rafael Marquez. Fighter. Massive fighter.
Group G. Belgium.
Yes. And Belgium's a team that both of us are following very keenly.
I'm really excited about Belgium. I think they have a great squad and I'm interested to see if they can click well together.
Yeah, and that is true. Like we discussed with Joe in the last episode. He said that the similarities between Holland and Belgium are stark, right? Because both of those teams have this tendency to implode. And to be honest, I know Belgium won 3-0 against Panama. I could see a little bit of, lack of chemistry happening there, especially from Eden Hazard. He was not really on his game, I thought. So
I'm not sure. I mean, out of all the favorites, and we would probably have to say Belgium are favorites, underdogs, but favorites, they're number 3 in the world. But they're the only ones who actually played a good game and won comfortably.
They are actually. And it's funny that you call them underdogs still, because you have to. Roberto Martinez is their manager. I think any team that is managed by Martinez is automatically an underdog team. I think tomorrow if Martinez manages Brazil, they will automatically become an underdog team.
That is true.
But I want to talk about Panama for a second, because it's their first World Cup, right? Fantastic achievement for the country
to
do their first World Cup. And actually a friend of ours, Arvind, had a great joke. He was like, Panama are so good at football. Or sorry, I messed that up. Actually, a friend of ours, Arvind, had a great joke.
Do you really tell jokes for a living? Is that what you do?
I don't know. No, so a friend of ours, Arvind, had a great joke, and he was like, Panama are so shit at football because they have a history of letting people in easily through immigration for underhanded businesses. But I want to talk about Panama because, yes, first World Cup appearance, great, historic achievement, fantastic for the country. But they were playing so dirty. They were playing a dirty game.
But it's Panama playing Belgium. It's Panama, small country. They know they can't outplay Belgium. They know they can't out-tactic Belgium.
True.
To try and have a shot in the game, I think they would have to attempt out-muscling Belgium, which is also really difficult because they have Romelu Lukaku who out-muscle that beast.
You can't.
But I wouldn't say that was a bad tactic, because every smaller nation has to try and do something to outwit the better footballing nations.
I mean, fair enough. It could be a tactic, right? Like, and it's a valid tactic as well. Some teams play clean, some teams play dirty, and that's just a fact of the game, and that's great. That's fine. But I want to talk about a particular incident that I saw. It involved, I think, the Panama central defender Godoy. I don't know his full name, but his last name is Godoy. And there was an incident where I think after a foul against Panama, he was seen actually going at the referee. Like, there was a clear case of dissent. And, I couldn't lip read because I think he was obviously speaking in Spanish. But it was, with the body language, it was very obvious that he was telling the referee off to his face. And he got booked for that. He got yellow carded for that, rightfully so. But my question is, where does this arrogance come from? This is your first World Cup. I mean, I get playing tough against, a better team and trying to out-muscle them. That's fine. But where does this arrogance to diss the referee comes from? Because if it were my first World Cup, if it was my first match at a World Cup, I'd be extremely courteous to the referee. I'd be like, "Arey, sorry साहब, फिर से नहीं होगा साहब, मैं गलती से mistake हो गया साहब, फिर से नहीं करूँगा साहब, please साहब, जाने दो ना साहब." Like, my reaction to the referee would be the same as my reaction to a traffic havaldar. Same hota.
But I don't know if I'd call it arrogance. Again, it's their first World Cup, and maybe he actually genuinely believed that the referee was fucking up. Maybe he thought it wasn't a foul, and he wants to go out there and tell the referee that "Tu kya kar raha hai?" That's not a foul. He's proving a point. He wants to fight for every tackle, every ball, every foul. So if he genuinely believes that the referee is making an error, I think he's just, and I get that he was carded for it and he should have been carded for it, but I wouldn't call it arrogance. I'd just call it the passion for the game. His entire country's hopes are on his shoulders, on the entire team's shoulders. And, if you can go out there and tell that referee off and maybe give him a piece of your mind, in the heat of that moment, that's what you do.
Fair enough. Valid point.
So Belgium is on top of Group G currently, but England's close by. Fantastic game, 2-1 victory for England. Not a convincing win.
Not a convincing win at all. Although the first 10-15 minutes of the game, I was really, really surprised to see the way England were playing. They were playing very well.
They seem to be clicking really well together. They have some good chemistry, good passing.
Yeah, I mean, youngest, freshest team that the Three Lions have put out, barring Ashley Young. What a comeback, right?
Yeah.
Like, from not being associated with England since Euro 2004, was it? To actually taking free kicks for England. That's a massive comeback, and I think that's because he plays for Manchester United, the best club in the world.
That's all you wanted to say. That's why you brought up.
That's all I wanted to say. But yeah, so they started off really well. They started off really, really well, and then somewhere they just switched off. That penalty by Kyle Walker was an absolute disgrace. You cannot, as a defender, you cannot give away a foul like that in the penalty box. That's murder. That's suicide. That's stupid.
Terrible.
That's terrible, right? And rightfully so. Tunisia got back into the game, and England were in shambles. Like, they were really...
That goal shook them up.
That goal did.
They lost their confidence, and John Stones wasn't helping either.
Oh, he played a tutty game. What was his game, man?
Very bad.
Very bad. Like, just disgusting.
Not a good day for the defense.
Chris Smalling would have been a better option at centre back, and that's because he plays for Manchester United, the biggest club and the best club in the world. You're not going to say anything to that, are you?
No. What's the point? I mean, you're not going to shut up about Manchester United. Let's just move on with that.
The funny thing about the England-Tunisia game was, I don't know if you noticed, but there were a lot of flies in the stadium. Like, a lot of bugs.
And Kane complained about it.
Kane complained about it. Yeah, he said that there were a lot of bugs in our ears, eyes and mouths.
And I think that's where the key to England's victory lies.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, it was about legs, about who can finish the game strong. Yeah. And England scored a very, very late winner. And it was Kane that scored a very late winner. And I think it was the fact that they had so many bugs in the mouth. They'd been snacking through the game. And I think if you eat enough bugs, they're a good form of protein.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were constantly munching through the game meant they had more energy. And I think that's how Kane finally managed to score that winning goal.
Well, as long as he did, because, I mean, this is I really like England. It's not my first team. The first team is always Holland, but they never qualify. So, well, fuck them. France, Belgium, England. That's my hierarchy of countries that I like to follow.
Only three you don't...
No, only three. Utna bhi chutiya fan nahi hai main. But it's funny because the hashtag, the official hashtag of Sony ESPN for the broadcast of the World Cup is Meri Dusri Country, which is weird because if you're talking about England and you want to go historic, it's actually Meri Pehli Country.
That's not a great joke.
Okay, but that is the key, all right? So right wingers, if you're listening to this, that was a joke. I'm kidding. And if you're actually good at your job, we need you in that position. Come play with us at Hotfoot on Sundays. We need a good right winger. That was an even worse joke, right?
That was terrible.
I think we should end this episode on that note.
We should.
It can only go downhill from here. So thank you so much, whoever is listening into this. We are finally on Apple Podcasts, which is great. So woohoo! You can watch this on YouTube as well, and it's also
hear this on YouTube.
Hear us on YouTube as well, and the post is also up on my website. The link will be posted on my social media. New video episode of Corner Flag will be out soon. Preferably at the end of the group stage, where we'll do a quick recap of the group stage and a preview to the round of 16. And do share this podcast to as many football fans as you can. Spread the word, make us famous. Let us do this more often for you guys. And thank you for listening. This is Amogh signing off.
And Aakarsh saying goodbye and enjoy your football.